All right, boys and girls, Tuesday's homework. We are on Tuesday. Okay, getting closer and closer to that Friday. So let's do Tuesday. Tuesday we are, let's change the color. Tuesday, what do we have? Pink? Let's do pink. Tuesday, reread and circle all the nouns, person, place, or thing. Okay, so we're going to look at homegrown. On Saturday, Eric, his sister Tasha, and Mama went shopping. Mama had agreed to take Eric to the garden center, and he could hardly wait to finally get there. Eric thought about all the vegetables he would plant in his garden. At the garden store, Eric picked out 6 sturdy, healthy tomato plants, 6 wire cages for them, and 8 pepper plants. He also chose the seeds he wanted, and he paid for everything himself. His neighbor, Mrs. Salter, had given him some poles to support the bean plants, so he didn't have to buy those. First thing the next morning, Eric was outside with his gardening tools, seeds, and plants. Then he saw something move in the soil. "A worm!" he exclaimed. Digging around in the soil where he intended to plant his garden, he discovered more worms. "There are worms in my garden," Eric called out to Mrs. Salter. He hoped she would suggest what to do. "You're lucky, Eric," she said. "Worms are good for your garden because they help you keep the soil loose. Then it's easy for plant roots to grow downward and for rain to reach all the way down to them." Eric planted the seeds and plants. Then Mrs. Salter showed him how to put up the bean poles, and they put the wire cages around the little tomato plants too. When he was done, he rushed into the house to announce that he had a garden of his own. Eric watered his garden each day. In 2 weeks, he had tiny seedlings. By the end of July, the first vegetables in Eric's garden were ready to be picked. At dinner that night, Tasha tasted the squash. "It's good," she said, looking surprised. Eric smiled. "That's because it's homegrown." Okay, so you guys are going to go through here. You're going to circle all of the nouns, just like you guys did last week. Okay, you're going to circle all of the nouns. So Eric needs to be circled. Tasha needs to be circled. Mama needs to be circled. Mama again. Eric again. Garden needs to be circled. What else? A center needs to be circled. Okay, so you're going to go through here and you're going to circle all of the nouns. Unit 2, multiplication and division facts. So let's go ahead and read this. Multiplication facts through 5. Multiply 2 numbers to find a product. Multiplication is a short way to do addition. 4 groups of 3 stars with 3 stars in each group is 12 stars together. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. Each of those groups has 3. So when you put those together, you have 3 and 4, so that equals 12. Okay, so that's just a little mini lesson on how to do those. So you're going to multiply. So let's look at number 1. 6 times 4 is 24. Number 2, 3 times 2 is 6. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, you're going to do the rest with B, C, and D. Find the products. Remember, products means answers when we are multiplying. So 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 4 is 28. And 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and do the rest of B, C, D, E, and F. And that is going to conclude your Tuesday homework.